Hi guys, this is Solveig Barrios, the co-founder of the Mayan Wisdom Project, and today I'm making this video statement publicly as a way to put all of the truth out there about the situation that has been happening to the Mayan Wisdom Project for the last 5 weeks. For the last 5 weeks, we experienced horrifying and really scary things, from harassment to defamation to extortion and many other things that you're about to learn in this video. In this video, finally, I'm so relieved because it was so hard to get to this point, but I'm finally safely going to be able to reveal to you guys all of the truth alongside the proof for the truth, and explain to you why 1 year ago we ended our relationship with Chinal del Cacao, and why the people responsible for everything that's been happening for the last 5 weeks are Meador, the owner of Solveig Cacao, and Jessica Vasquez, one of the leaders of Chinal del Cacao. And throughout the video, I'm going to explain what happened with every person involved in all of this and why this is happening to us. It is a crazy story you cannot even begin to imagine, but also I recommend you really do watch it till the end, especially if you are a client or a customer of Solveig Cacao, as one of the craziest things that I'm going to reveal in this video is how that could be really dangerous for your health. I'm going to explain to you that there's something that could threaten your health so much. If you're a customer of Solveig Cacao and of Nick, you should really be very careful. So please listen to this. Sorry that it's going to take long, but it's a long story and it's really hard to summarize. But we're going to put it all out there right now. So first of all, I just want to say that I'm really happy right now and relieved that this is finally going to be over after we publish this video. We've experienced the craziest 5 weeks of our lives. You don't understand what we've been going through. It's like a horror story, and you're about to learn everything that's been happening in the background. And you're also going to understand why, for our safety, it was not okay for us to come out before right now. For those of you who don't know what happened 5 weeks ago, Nick Meador, the owner of a business called Solveig Cacao, made a video that he published on his social media with two teachers that we used to work with in the past. Their names are Tata Juan and Tata Miguel. In the video, Tata Juan and Tata Miguel say that they were exploited by us. And Nick Meador goes ahead and publishes how he's supporting them by making a GoFundMe and asking for money to help them. Immediately after this happened, a couple of days later, we made a video in response to this, stating that none of this is true. This is defamation and lies, and that soon we're going to reveal exactly how much we paid these teachers as a way to prove to you that all of the statements of exploitation are absolute lies. Basically, it took us this long because horrible, scary things happened to us for the next 5 weeks that we would have never seen coming. But now finally we're at the point where we can finally post all of the evidence, and not just for the case of Tata Juan and Tata Miguel, but for everything else that has been happening. So shortly after the original post, I received some communication from Tata Jerico, another spiritual leader that we continued to work with until the last few weeks, where he tells me that he's so sorry to see what's happening, that we have his full support. Oh, by the way, everything I'm going to say in this video, I'm going to back up with proof, and there's a document attached to this video where you're going to find all of the stuff that I'm referring to, the WhatsApp conversations, all of the evidence, to see that none of what I'm saying is a lie. Everything is backed up with evidence, by the way. So basically, he says, I'm so sorry what's happening. And then he's like, can we have a chat, right? So we have a chat where he tells me, I want to support you, and I would like to actually offer you to organize and mediate a Mayan ceremony between you and Tata Juan and Tata Miguel for conflict resolution, so that you can achieve conflict resolution with them. And the reason I want to offer you this is because I have to tell you that I talked to them on the phone, and actually the craziest, weirdest thing happened. They actually believe what they're saying. And I was like, Tata Jerico, how is this possible? How could they believe what they say? if they know how much we paid them, which is a crazy amount of money, and you're gonna see that attached to this proof, right? And he says, well, basically what they told me is they always felt good. They always felt fairly treated, but that some people explained to them why they're being extorted. All of a sudden, it started to click because even in the public video that they posted, they say, we didn't realize we were being exploited. We were actually super okay with what we were being paid until some young American friends came to us and explained to us that we were being exploited. A lot of the stories that these people have been telling on their social media, like Nick Meador from Solveig Cacao and everybody else involved, is they're painting me and my husband, the owners of the Mayan Wisdom Project, as this like super, super rich, evil people. And so one of the things that we want to reveal to you is that we're actually kind of broke. Not really broke, but like by choice we're broke. What do I mean by that? We're actually going to publish our own financial statements for the last 4 years. The Mayan Wisdom Project started 4 years ago, so that you guys will be able to see that we make actually very, very little money. We live a very humble life. We don't even have a car. Like, we have a really, really humble life on purpose, right? You're going to be able to see in the document that Martin and I have actually always, historically up to today, always made way less money than all of the spiritual leaders that we work with. We make less money than all of the employees that we have. We've always made sure that we're the least paid people in our organization and that everybody else gets paid really well. So the story of like we're very rich and evil and all of that stuff is just part of like a larger, very vicious scheme to take us down by Jessica Vasquez and Nick Meador. And you're about to understand why they did this. Is such a crazy story, like you won't believe it, right? So this spiritual leaders, long story short, I'm also going to attach all of the conversations with them and everything. Like, it did at the end did not accept the seek for conflict resolution. But it came to light in the background for us. The Jessica Vasquez, who's the leader of one of the leaders of Chinimital del Cacao, was also planning to make a defamatory statement alongside Nick Meador against us. So I thought, okay, before this happens, how about we talk it out? We also tried to do conflict resolution. I tried to talk to her and tell her, hey, listen, come on, let's talk about this privately instead of through social media and see what we can do, right? So basically, I'm going to attach to this, and please read it. You will not believe it. The WhatsApp conversation that she and I had, it lasts several days. In it, she's so aggressive. It was really hard to be sent throughout this conversation, but we always responded with a lot of kindness. But she's super mega aggressive throughout the entire conversation. And the conversation, we decided to end the conversation the moment she extorted us. She basically said, and you're also going to be able to read this in the conversation, pay what you would have paid Cacao Chinimital for the last entire year up to today, and that's the amount of money I want, or else you will see what happens to you. Basically, that's when I was like, okay, there's no conflict resolution going to happen here. This conversation has to end right here because this is extortion and it's really severe. And this was just the beginning. This was just the beginning. You guys have no idea how much worse it gets than this. So I closed up the conversation, and of course, a few days later, the defamatory statement came out. In the defamatory statement, they say they ended their relationship with us. We have proof in this document as well that we're sharing with you right now that actually we ended the relationship with them. And in it, they say they're having a humanitarian crisis, and Nick has set up a GoFundMe to support them with the humanitarian crisis that they're having. Because they say we abandoned them and left them with all of this cacao that we didn't want to pay for anymore. This is not true. I'm also attaching proof that we tried to buy up to the last pound of cacao, but they refused to sell it to us, and you'll see what they did next because it was really crazy. And we paid them, guys, more than $130,000 for their cacao throughout our relationship. You have to understand, that this amount of money was at double the price in Guatemala for ceremonial cacao, already like peeled, grinded, packaged, everything. The average price in Guatemala of cacao, we paid approximately double that to ensure that they and that the people involved in the production of the cacao would have a super comfortable life and that all of their needs would be covered, right? And they keep saying that they were left with like more than a ton of cacao. The reality is we know for a fact, and we can also prove this through our messages, that they were left with like 200-300 pounds of cacao after we bought thousands and thousands of pounds, you know? So the relationship ended well from our side. We ended it, but we basically offered everything that we could to them. It's a crazy story. You'll even see in the messages how Tata Jerico had to even secretly sell us some tea because he wanted to support those families and couldn't believe that Jessica Vasquez and Gabriel Vasquez were not accepting the money that we were offering them to pay the families at the end. So, you know, the story, now I'm actually going to reveal to you the true story why we ended the relationship with the Chinimital and why that is related to Nick and everything that's actually happening. So basically, basically there's a problem in general that cacao can have. Chocolate can have it too, by the way. It's a very common problem in the cacao world, and it is the heavy metal issue. In case you didn't know, it is unfortunately a little too common for cacao to have a little bit of high levels of cadmium and high levels of lead. So to make sure that our customers are super safe, we test all of the cacaos that we work with for heavy metals to ensure you guys' safety as you're consuming our cacao. And even though most people only test their cacao once to be on the 100% safe side, Martin and I make it a point to test our cacaos once per year for heavy metals, just to make sure that nothing has changed in the farm and that everything is working well and that there's no heavy metals in the cacao. We ended our relationship with Chinimital del Cacao around 1 year ago, approximately between July and August of 2023. Our yearly heavy metal test for the cacao had been done on June 2023 as well. The results came back clean. So it was on normal, safe levels of heavy metals. So we just kept business as usual in June of 2023 because we were like, okay, great, the cacao is safe, it's all good, right? 1 month later, something new happened. And what happened is that Martin and I started receiving more than before a lot of wholesale orders. What do I mean? You can buy our cacao on our website for like half a pound, 1 pound, 2 pounds or something. So like in smaller quantities. But at that time, 1 year ago, we started having, for different reasons, a lot of new wholesale clients of people who wanted to buy cacao in bulk. So like 40 pounds, 80 pounds, 100 pounds. Okay. All of those people who were selling it in bulk were asking us that they needed to produce a back label for the cacao. This is the one mistake that we probably made as the Mayan Wisdom Project. Anybody who was working with us at the time probably remembers that we didn't have a back label on our cacao for a really long time. The back label is where all of the nutritional values go, all of the important like nutritional information and any extra additional information goes on the back label, right? So in July of 2023, a lot of customers, we're also going to attach some emails of customers asking us this so you guys can see what we mean. We're like, hey, do you guys have the lab results for all kinds of things that we had not tested the cacao for? For example, one example is sodium, right? They're like, do you have the lab results for how much sodium is in the cacao? Because I need to put that in the back label. So Martin and I were like, no, my God, finally we have to put a back label on our cacao. So how about we send it to the lab again, but this time we do like the full test for absolutely everything, right? So we sent it to the lab again in July of 2023. It spent, the couple of weeks that it spent at the lab, and then the results came back and everything looked fine and normal, except, and this is where the story gets really crazy, it was super, mega, super high on lead. First, we were absolutely shocked because we had tested it 1 month before and it was on normal levels of lead. So first we broke our brains trying to explain to ourselves, how is the cacao 1 month ago fine and then now high on lead? So we called Jessica Vasquez, we called Jerico Gutierrez, who were our line of communication for the Chinimitala of Cacao, and we told them, guys, we have a massive emergency. We need to talk. Please call us. We need to talk. It's a huge emergency. We shared with them that the cacao was not a little bit above the safe level of intake of lead. It was way higher than it's supposed to be. It was basically toxic, basically poisonous, you know what I mean? So we were really worried, but luckily, and this was the only relief in that time, the cacao that we had tested for lead that was super poisonous was the super new batch of cacao, and the batches before that were safe in heavy metals, So we were obviously something happened. There must be some new source of contamination, because historically the cacao has been tested and it has always been safe up to 1 month ago. We told them, guys, we have really good news. The good news is that because we always stock up super well on cacao, we have 1, 2, 3 months to solve this problem, because we're well stocked up on cacao that is safe to consume. So basically, for example, right now, if you go to a shop and you buy cacao, that cacao was not produced 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago. That cacao was produced 3, 4 months ago, because the cacao first sits for a while in our warehouse in Guatemala, and only then it gets shipped to the United States or to Europe or anywhere. So we told them we have enough cacao that is safe to consume still in stock for 2 more months or 3 more months approximately. So let's solve this problem in the next 1 to 3 months. Throw away all of the contaminated cacao, find the source of contamination, and don't worry, we're not going to abandon you. Let's solve this problem. We asked them to talk to the farm. They talked to the farm, and the farm said it's impossible that it's a problem with us, which actually makes perfect sense, because if there was a problem with the farm, this results of high lead would always have been the case. So we understood in that moment, and by the way, we're attaching all of the WhatsApp conversations with Jessica Vasquez, Gabriel Vasquez, Jerico Gutierrez, our WhatsApp group, so you can see all of the communication that we had with them about this topic. We're something must be happening in your production site, something new, because that amount of lead is not even normal. It's not something natural that could be in the cacao. There has to be something that you put in your production site that is leaking lead, and that has to be the problem, right? So all of this cacao was already being shipped to us, to our warehouse in Guatemala. We took another sample. We tested it again just to be sure, because we were so confused. We took another super new sample from the newest batch, and we sent it to the lab again, because we thought, honestly, it was so crazy. We even thought maybe the lab made a mistake, because of the quantity of lead was so high. It was literally poisonous. We were like, how is this possible? So we sent it to the lab again, and basically it came up, believe it or not, even higher from the newer batch. We told Jessica, make another batch, send it to us. It came out even higher. So we told them, okay, guys, something is happening in the production site. Somehow, some way, there must be something new in the production site that is contaminating the cacao. So we told them the good news is now you can send us samples for everything, send us samples of cacao nibs, of cacao paste, send us samples in the production site, then maybe make another sample outside of the production site, make samples here, make samples there, so that we can see where in the process of production the cacao is getting contaminated. At this point, Jessica Vasquez, who was in charge of communication, ghosted us for 1 entire month, basically. And I'm also attaching the screenshots of our conversation with Jerico for 1 full month, where I'm like, Jerico, please, Jessica's not answering me. Jerico, please, answer me, guys, because I'm not going to sell poisonous cacao to my clients. If we don't solve this right now, we're going to run out of the clean, safe cacao. Time is running. We have to solve this problem right now. We only have clean, safe cacao for a couple of months, And imagine, Jessica ghosted me for almost 1 full month, right? So the communication was super bad. So I asked Jerico to contact the person who I knew to be one of the main leaders of the Chinimital, Gabriel Vasquez. At the time, I didn't know that that was Jessica's dad. I should have known from the last name, but I didn't make the connection. And Jerico had to secretly arrange a meeting between us and Gabriel Vasquez, who was not even informed about the lead situation at the time, because Jessica refused to tell anybody in the collective, which we also told her you should tell her because everybody in your collective drinks this cacao, including children, guys. So please don't give this cacao to your people. It's poisonous, you know? Jessica refused to tell anybody about it. We talked to Gabriel Vasquez, who also who basically, long story short, you're going to see all of the messages so you can read more in depth what actually happened. But long story short, also refused to solve the problem. And we told them, guys, basically, if we can't solve this, we're so sorry. We're not going to be able to buy cacao from you anymore because obviously we're not going to sell poisonous cacao to people. We tell Jerico this. He's absolutely shocked. He tells us, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I don't know what to do because Gabriel is the leader. Jessica's the leader. There's not much I can do. But I'm obviously on you guys' side. We're also going to attach all of the messages where he tells us that. And he says, like, I don't want to stop working with you. Like, we cannot abandon the 20 families, you know, that like more than 20 families that work for us. And I tell him, Jerico, I agree. We can't abandon those producer families. We have to do something. So I'm texting with Gabriel. I'm basically begging them to help us resolve the problem so that we can keep working with them, reassuring them that if we can manage to solve the problem of the contamination, we're going to keep working with them, but that we refuse to sell poisonous cacao to people. And the next thing I hear is not from them, but from several of our customers. You guys might even remember, you listening to this video might be one of the customers that we're also attaching the screenshots from the emails and messages our customers sent us, saying, hi Solveig, hi Martin, this is kind of awkward, but I was contacted by Jessica Vasquez, who's trying to sell me cacao in bulk right now. And okay, so who's trying to sell me cacao in bulk right now? Sorry. And they're basically defaming you and like telling us that you guys scammed the Chinimital, that you guys falsified their product, and that you're selling fake cacao, calling it Chinimital del Cacao, but it's actually not their cacao and everything like that. So I contact Gabriel. I tell him, hey, listen, I don't know if you're aware of this. I think Jessica must be working alone because, trust me, that's the kind of person she is. You'll see it in the communication we have with her. And I tell him, like, guys, you cannot sell poisonous cacao to our clients. First, you cannot steal our clients. That's already immoral. But also, you cannot defame us, tell everybody that we're trying to scam you, and then try to sell them cacao that you know is completely toxic for them. So we told our clients, hey, listen, let us talk to them. Do not buy their cacao. Like, we didn't mention the lead yet, but we thought, like, we're just going to tell our clients, sorry. And we kind of stopped all of the clients from actually buying Jessica's cacao. Gabriel Vasquez answers me and he tells me that he's aware of the situation and that he's helping Jessica, which you'll also be able to see in like the WhatsApp messages, you know. So I contact Jerico. I tell him about this. He's as shocked as I am. He feels as betrayed as I do. Our clients don't buy the cacao. Then Jessica and Gabriel send us a letter. I'll also attach it, begging us not to stop the relationship with them, but we tell them we can no longer work with them after what they've done, which is defame us, talk badly about us, gone behind our backs, and try to sell our customers poisonous cacao. And then Jerico tells us that he agrees with this. I'm going to attach all of the communication with him where he basically it helps us draft the messages that we're going to send to finish the relationship with them. Then we finish the relationship with them officially. And Jerico tells us that he wants to keep working with us and that he's so sorry for how bad these people are and how badly these people behaved. They even went as far when they discovered that he was supporting us to try to kick him out of their community. Jessica and Jericho are married. She tried to kick her own husband out of her community. So like already 1 year ago when all of this happened. But as all of our customers know, we kept working with Tata Jericho for 1 entire year. And we warned over the phone and told Jessica, like, listen, we're so sorry. You found out about the lead problem 1 month ago. We're going to forgive you for this freak out that you had, because she also even went as far as contacting our new cacao producers, calling them on the phone. I'm also going to attach proof for this. Insulting them, screaming at them, and telling them that she was going to sue them and destroy them if they worked with us. And then basically, she, like, Jericho and us kept working together for 1 full year until recently, just in educational stuff. Obviously, we didn't keep buying that cacao. We switched cacao producers. By the way, our cacao is super safe if you also want the lab results for like our current cacaos that we work with, you know. And we went as far as even offering to buy the last cacao that they had left, which was, they told us, between 200 and 300 pounds. We told them we're going to literally throw it away, but just so you can pay for the work of these families and they don't end up being hurt by the situation, because it's not their fault, right? We're going to still pay for that cacao, which they refused to sell to us because I think they thought they're going to still be able to sell it to our clients. Long story short, they were very unlucky. They were not able to sell any of that cacao, but we told them we're going to keep an eye on you. And if you ever try to bring that cacao to the market, we're going to have to report this to the public, because we're not going to allow you guys to poison people. 1 week ago, Nick Meador and Chinal del Cacao announced that they were going to work together. And in their videos, they're literally saying that they were left with a bunch of cacao when they ended the relationship with us, and that that's the cacao that they're going to be selling right now. We have the lab results. They're attached for that cacao. It is so dangerous. It is literal poison. It's not a little bit more lead than it should have, guys. It is so high, the level of lead, you don't understand. So Nick Meador is very heavy metal aware. If you look historically through his social media, he has a lot of posts talking about the problems with heavy metals and cacao. So the fact that he announced he's going to sell this cacao means either he knows the results and doesn't care and is willing to still sell it, or he doesn't actually test his cacao and is willing to take that risk of selling you cacao not knowing how many heavy metals are actually in it. Either way, that's really, really bad. And we wanted to make this video before you guys are able to purchase this cacao on his website, because we don't want you guys to actually get hurt from this cacao. So long story short, Nick Meador and Jessica Vasquez worked together in March of this year. Nick Meador made a cacao tour in Guatemala. They worked together this year. They met each other for that. And we don't know if this is true or not, but that's when all of this actually started. So we don't know what kind of conversation they had. Nick obviously has a vendetta against us for years, as you will see from the email he sent us 2 years ago. And when he saw that our relationship with Jessica ended in conflict, we think that he just was really happy to jump on that boat to try to bring the Mayan Wisdom Project down. We don't understand how people are capable of being this vicious and going this far, but he basically went out of his way to contact every teacher who we ever worked with but are not currently working with anymore, and had them make public statements against us saying that we exploited them. We're attaching the proof of how much we paid every single one of those teachers, guys, and you will be shocked. Not only to see our own financials, as I said, and see we made way less than every single teacher we worked with, but you will be shocked to see how much money those people actually made. Our only question right now is, what does it take to be convinced to lie, because they know they're lying, to be convinced by a strange American man to lie and put your face on social media and to say all of these things? What they fail to mention is obviously Tata Juan and Tata Miguel are being manipulated, and they failed to mention that all of the other teachers who are speaking against us are related to them. Tata Mario, who spoke with them, is their brother, so obviously their family, right? Nana Sandra, who spoke with them, was introduced to us by the Tata Juan and Tata Miguel because she's one of their teachers. So it's not several people we work with individually, it's one small group of people who we worked with together, and they're the ones speaking against us, saying we exploited them, but we're about to reveal how much money they made, and you guys are going to be very shocked. And the only other person who spoke was Tata Juan Manuel's daughter. Tata Juan Manuel is a spiritual leader we worked with many, many years ago. This man died years ago. His daughter is a young girl in her early 20s. We've never met before. She's never met us before. We've never met her before. And we wonder what it takes for a young girl, to put her face on social media to say that we exploited her dad without knowing us or knowing the people who are asking her to make those statements. If that doesn't seem severe enough, what's happening in the background has been much worse, and the reason we didn't make this statement before is because actually we were very scared. What happened in the background, in addition to extortion, was severe harassment of us. Basically, there were ghost accounts created all over Instagram, and we found a ghost account that kept commenting on our posts. And I'll attach it to the document as well so you can see it. I took a screenshot of this account and of their comments on our Instagram, and their profile is full of the videos that Nick Meador produced with the spiritual leaders, and it says Mayan Wisdom Project killers or Mayan Wisdom Project murderers. So we started to feel like, what does that even mean? Like, is that a threat? Obviously, that's like a ghost account that's created by one of those people, So who created that account? And is that a threat? You know what I mean? In addition to all of the ghost accounts that they've been creating, leaving horrible, horrible comments all over our social media, we felt like if this is what they're capable of doing, even though we haven't done anything bad to any of them, how will they react once we actually make the statement? That's why it took us 5 weeks to come to the point of being able to make this statement, because Nick Meador is about to receive a letter from our lawyer letting him know that he's getting served and that he's going to be sued in the United States of America. We also had to involve the police in this case, so this is now becoming an open police investigation in Guatemala as well. We had to report these people to the authorities because of the extortion, the harassment, the threats that they've made to us. At this point, sorry, it's just a really crazy story. So obviously Jessica Vasquez wanted to take us down and destroy our credibility before we had the opportunity to tell people what issues her cacao has and what kind of person she is and what she did to her community and even to her own husband. And Nick just jumped in the opportunity because for some reason this man wants to destroy us. Honestly, we've received so much support from our community, and we actually even got a bunch of messages from people who have collabed with Nick Meador before. If any of you guys feel safe and comfortable sharing in the comments what he's done to you, we received in the background messages from people who collabed with him before saying he's done similar things to them. So obviously this is a pattern. It's probably not even just like against us, it's like an issue that he generally has. Tata Jerico contacted me a few days ago, and also over the phone he told me if this keeps happening, unfortunately I will have to go on Jessica's side. And he told me that, and 2 days ago he was on a live video crying, saying all these lies about how they ended the relationship with us, how we scammed them or something like that. He knows it's a lie because, as you will see from the messages, he's the one who supported us and came out with the truth about what the Chinimital was actually doing in the background, and Jessica and her dad were doing in the background. But in the message he's like, that he sent me, he's like very intense, saying that they're calling him a traitor, that they're telling him something about like his children, and how he's going to be the father of two girls and he's a traitor, and that they're going to kick him out of his community. So he had to do this, and he's so emotional as he's saying these statements that he knows are false, as he's literally crying. Yeah, I mean, it's just such a crazy story. Like, we did not feel safe until we had restraining orders to make this video. Right now, the restraining orders are being processed. We've reported this to the police. We're suing Nick in the United States. We don't believe, by the way, that any of the spiritual leaders who spoke are aware of this side of the story of the situation. I'm sure they were told lies. So we think that they were just being manipulated. We think that the only people who know the full story are Jessica Vasquez, Gabriel Vasquez, and Nick Meador. And Jerico also knows, but I think he's in a really bad situation where he is not doing this with bad intentions, if you know what I mean, because he only broke the relationship with us literally a couple of weeks ago. On this entire year of 2024, we did so much together. We did live events together. We recorded videos together. We participated in a bunch of stuff with him together, and our relationship was amazing, as you'll see from the messages. So we don't think this is malintentioned from his side, and we actually feel really bad for him because he's also a victim of the situation. Yeah, that's the full story. Imagine what we've been going through for the last 5 weeks. It has been so crazy, but honestly, what we're very grateful for is that literally 90% of you guys who heard about this sent us messages of unconditional support and love, and told us that you've been with us for many years and that you know us, and that, of course, you believe us. So that has meant the world to us. The fact that all these crazy lies really didn't destroy the Mind Wisdom Project is a blessing. And we also feel so lucky that the worst thing that happened was defamation and nothing worse, because with the extortion, the ghost accounts, seeing your name next to the word murder is not fun ever, as you can imagine. So we feel blessed that all of the stuff that was said about us was defamation, and that we have the proof to actually disprove everything that happened. And we're just so grateful that this is finally over and that we're gonna be able to. Sorry guys, like today we're posting a document with the evidence for a lot of what I said on this video, especially the Nick Meador, Jessica Vasquez case, and like the heavy metals case and everything like that. But in the next 3 to 5 days, we're going to post another post just summarizing this case and putting an even bigger document, like a 30-page document. Sorry, but it's just so much evidence. We cannot we cannot compress it into a couple of pages. And we also don't want to cherry pick, like just certain screenshots. We're going to upload entire conversations, entire bank statements, and entire threats, entire things. So we really believe that the rest of the people who were involved in this still did something wrong by lying. And why do you want to bring people you don't even know down is something that I will never understand. But even those people like Fatima Estrada or Angel Limar, I'm not sure if they knew this full version of the story or not, and if they knew what they were actually getting themselves into or not. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But all I know for certain is that only Jessica Vasquez, Nick Meador, and Gabriel Vasquez knew the full truth. Everybody else, there's a chance they were being manipulated. Still not so cool to lie, by the way, guys. And yeah. So I guess I'll just close it up by saying that it was really terrible for us to go through this 5 weeks. We're very grateful right now that the police is now involved in there's an open police investigation. The police will investigate everybody connected to this case, of course. So it will come out to the light who actually knew, who didn't, who was manipulated, or who did stuff on purpose. And it was really inconvenient for us that all of this came out to the light as soon as we started announcing all of our beautiful projects in the indigenous communities of Guatemala. 5 weeks ago, a little bit more than 5 weeks ago, 1.5 months ago, we we kind of like published that we had reforestation projects happening, that we had a project to support 108 families in the Mayan communities in Alta Verapaz. We really believe that these people published all of the defamatory statements on purpose at the same time as we did that, because now a lot of people think that planting trees and all of that is in response to this to look good. But we also want to, just so that you guys don't believe that, provide proof that all of this project in Alta Verapaz has been planned for so long. This is not a project you make up in 1 week. It's a project that we've been talking about with this community for so long, and it's a project that has been in the works forever. As a matter of fact, that's why we even visited Los Angeles some time ago, because we found some people who want to help fund and also support us in the project of like lifting up this community, you know what I mean? And so there's so much more to this story. The document will say it all. If you are patient enough to read through all of it, I recommend that you do. All of the evidence for everything I'm saying is there. Sorry that I got a little emotional, but as you can imagine, this has been a stressful situation, but I feel very relieved right now that the truth is finally out there and that the situation is over. And I guess if I can leave you with anything is, we hate being involved in social media drama and gossip, but as you can understand, we had to make this statement because enough is enough. And also, we don't want people to believe these crazy lies that are being spoken about us. But also, it was really important for us to say this publicly so that the story is out there, because it would be morally really incorrect for us if we allowed Sollift Cacao to sell cacao chinivital, knowing very well just how toxic it is because of all of the crazy amounts of lead that it has in it. So we also had to inform the public about it. Okay, I've talked for 40 minutes. I'm gonna stop now. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna make another post in a few days with the full document for the proof. There's already a document with a lot of proof, but imagine 30 pages of proof of 4 years. Even our last 4 years of bank statements are gonna take a little bit to collect and all of that. So give us 3 to 5 days to complete the document, and we're gonna make another post announcing that. I hope I'm not forgetting to say anything important, but oh yeah, so like if you have any questions, maybe, obviously we're really overwhelmed right now, so maybe wait 3 to 5 days until we make the other post and see if the next post answers your questions, and also be a little patient with us, because as you can imagine, this is a crazy situation and we're very busy dealing with it. So if we're not as responsive or something, please be understanding. And yeah, sorry for the long video. Thank you for listening. I love you guys. Thank you for the support. And this too shall pass, and we're going to grow from this situation, and we're going to learn from this situation. And thank you.